Ms. Manisha Chaudhary, who will be introducing us to the green economy. Manisha is National Coordinator, Partnership for Action on Green Economy, India for UN Environment Program. Manisha has more than 10 years of work experience in varied areas, including project design, development, and implementation, knowledge management, monitoring, reporting, documentation, project planning, and budgeting. Organization of national and She has been into the organization of national and international workshops. Wow, that isn't that amazing? Welcome, Manisha. Over to you.
Thanks. Thank you so much, Abrar. And good afternoon to all. Very delighted to be a part of this event, which is really very important and is happening at a very opportune time, I would say, when we are seeing that the world is tackling this economic slowdown, and we really need to understand that what needs to be changed in terms of what kind of business model or what kind of alternate economic approaches needs to be taken to tackle such future crises. And certainly there is an urgent need to move towards, as we say, a green and inclusive economic growth to tackle such planetary crisis that we are facing currently, and to also ensure that the economy that we generate is sustainable and stable in future. Abrar has mentioned, I work with the Partnership for Action on Green Economy, PAGE, which is a collaboration of 5 UN agencies, which is UN Environment Program, UNIDO, UNDP, ILO, and UNITAR. And all of them come together and share their experience and expertise, and they bring this all together to basically give solutions which are integrated in nature, and to support the government in developing an inclusive and green economic patterns and approaches. So, but before we move on, and Abrar has already announced, we are having some interesting polls today. So, we are all talking about green economy, but why green economy? That is another question. That what's the problem in the current economic model and the current approaches that we are following for our economic growth? And I think that because of the aware of audience that we have, we already know that the current economic approaches are not good for environment. This is already leading to catastrophic impacts. It is very resource intensive. It encourages waste, and it generates widespread threats to the environment and human health. Also, our natural resource base is declining fast, that we are aware of. On the other hand, natural capital is an asset that provides a variety of renewable and non-renewable resources. And as per estimates, as much as 40% of the world's economy is based on biological products or processes. But this resource base is shrinking very fast. And on the other hand, our consumption and production patterns are increasing its footprint on nature and natural resources. So it's an urgent need that we move towards an alternate model of economic growth, which is green and inclusive in nature. Next slide. Also, there's one more aspect to the current economic model of growth, because it creates, which is inequalities that it is creating. As far as global wealth concentration is concerned, the richest 1% of world's population is controlling, or 50% of global assets, while the poorest half own just 1%. And you were absolutely correct in choosing the answer that 80 richest people own the same wealth as the 3.5 billion poorest people. So we really need to think about all these challenges and the situations that is currently existing with the current economic approach, and think of alternative towards a better economic model. Next, please. Well, it's crucial that we invest in nature-based solutions, and it is very well established that wealth creation opportunities, especially for the of the extreme poor, are directly linked with the productive capacity of nature. Green economy thus calls for investing in natural capital to strengthen the ecological foundation for an economy that improves the livelihood of the poor. This is a picture from the recently released State of Finance for Nature 2021 report, which highlights that those investments in nature-based solution will have to triple by 2030 and increase fourfold by 2050. There's a huge finance gap or investment gap which currently exists in nature-based solutions. And also, sorry.
Yes, did you know, Manisha, I just read this article which says over the period of next 10 years, there will be 2.8 million job offers for the young people in the green sector.
Absolutely, absolutely. In India itself, and we'll be coming to that, the renewable energy sector has a potential to create almost as much as 3 million jobs. Similarly, we have other sectors, and we'll talk about it in the coming sections, how a green economy has a huge potential for creation of jobs, which is green and inclusive in nature. And but to reach to that, as I'm saying, that we have to invest in nature-based solutions, in green solutions, which also makes a business sense, I would say. And I just want to share that reports say that if you invest $1 in restoration, ecosystem restoration, it can create up to $30 of economic benefits. So there it makes a complete business sense. This has also been very well established by the ongoing pandemic that we are having, and it is clearly established that there's a link between ecosystem degradation, biodiversity loss, and climate change to the economy and the situation of economy. And also, I would say not only green economy and green jobs, but also the post-COVID-19 economic recovery package that is there. It's an opportunity to scale up our efforts in nature-based solutions. And these are some of the green economy principles that is there, and which clearly is based on all economic, environmental, and social factors. Next. As I said, it's already established through the economic reports that environmental degradation is certainly a huge risk for global economy, and hence we have to invest in reducing or stopping or preventing environmental degradation if we want a secure and sustainable economic growth. Next.
Well, I think it also relates to the recent temperature rise, which was being discussed about. A lot of climate change scientists saying that is how we are facing a lot of different temperatures, hike reductions, a lot of landslides, like in the mountains, so many things. Wow, isn't that scary?
Absolutely, and all these has not only environmental impacts, it has a very clear economic and social impacts as well. So yes, Abrar, you're right. It's all interlinked, and so we have to think in a very integrated manner, take a very holistic approach to that. Yeah, so I think this is the slide, the report that you are mentioning about the greenhouse gas emissions. Yeah, so as I said, that if we invest in green economy and green jobs, we can certainly lower the kind of damages which is happening, or minimize the damages which is happening due to climate change. Next, please. If you talk about India, we have seen that in the past 5 decades, there has been a huge increase in domestic material consumption and primary use of primary raw materials, both overall and per capita. In addition, as I said, the resource base is also shrinking day by day, and we already have environmental concerns there. So for India also, and India, a large part of economy is dependent on nature-based, jobs. And so, for example, agriculture, like most of the labor force is dependent on agriculture sector. So for India, it's of utmost importance that we move towards a greener approach in economic growth. Next. So what is green economy? We are talking about green economy. Now, you must have clearly understood that green economic model are models which are resource efficient, which are low carbon, and which are also at the same time socially inclusive. And therefore, we move further from green economy to inclusive green economy. which basically improves human well-being and builds social equity while reducing environmental risks and scarcities. Next. However, there are many challenges, in bringing this change. We know of these challenges. I talked about inequalities that we have. We have environmental issues. We have less awareness. We do not have the technical knowledge and know-how. The finances, as I said, there are very less investments, and there's a huge gap in green financing. So we have to overcome many challenges and see that how we can bring solutions to overcome these challenges to go towards green economic growth. Next. Now, where to start from? Now, we can start with some of the key economic sectors which, to initiate the greening process, and all these sectors, whether it is green manufacturing, whether it is green construction like green buildings, urban parks, planting trees across the highways, or green roads. There are examples where waste materials, plastics has been used in developing roads. Green transport or green tourism, a renewable energy sector you already know of, which comes under energy. These are some of the key economic sectors where we can start greening the entire process, and these sectors have a huge potential of creating, as I said, jobs which are green and inclusive in nature. Next. Now we come to what are green jobs then. So green jobs are very central to the entire concept of green economy. Green jobs needs to be decent, and you were correct there. It needs to be decent. It needs to also contribute to preservation and restoration of environment. And green jobs can be created across all economic sectors that I mentioned above. But there are many other emerging areas where we can integrate the concept of green jobs and green economy. Next. So how do we secure a green job? The question is that, okay, we understand green economy is important, green jobs are an option, but then what to do next? Where should I go? What kind of jobs are available? So there are three approaches to this. What happens is that young people, when they start searching for something like green jobs, you just type the keywords like, okay, green jobs, renewables and all that. But there's more to that. There are three approaches. First approach is like, as you know, the key economic sectors like energy or green infrastructure or green construction. You can certainly look for that kind of a job. And as you can see, it has a huge potential of creating jobs. As per the latest report of ILO, transformation to a greener economy could generate 15 to 60 million additional jobs. 18 million jobs can be created achieving sustainability in the energy sector. 6 million jobs can be created by embracing the circular economic approach. If you talk about sustainable agriculture, organic farming has a huge potential to generate green jobs. Green food manufacturing has immense potential of for green jobs. And I must also add to it that the conventional, the organic farming or the green agriculture has the potential to create much more jobs than a conventional agriculture production. And as Abrar was saying, India is already shifting to a green economy, and almost 3 million jobs in the renewable energy sector can be created by 2030 in India alone. Also, sectors like watershed management, there's a potential there also. As per one of the reports, there are some 42 plus million jobs which can be created in overexploited blocks in watershed management. And only 5.69 million jobs have already been generated from 2009 to 2020. So there's a huge potential of green jobs there in the watershed. So these are some of the key economic sectors that we already know of, where people search for green jobs, where there's a potential of green jobs. But apart from this, next slide, please.
Yeah.
But apart from, yeah, sorry,
Manisha,
Abrar, yes.
I just wanted to mention here for all the high school students and graduates, You know what is future then. You know what are the future jobs and the possibilities. So it is, I think it is going to make you, understand very well what courses to take up and what jobs to seek for, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And there's more to come. Let's talk about entrepreneurship, which means basically, create or green something, a job where you're already working in. So you can be an entrepreneur, and so you don't only search for green jobs or renewables or something in water or solar, but you can in whatever sector you would like to go, be it, for example, let's talk about if you want to open a school. Okay, and then you can see, or if you want to open any business, you have to be very mindful of, the kind of products that you are procuring, the kind of products that you are generating, the kind of processes that you are following in the entire production, be it from procurement to processing to in the entire supply chain, and applying the life cycle approach to it. So it should be a zero waste kind of a thing. Similarly, in school buildings, how you can green the building. So any sector, any job that you are there or is of your interest, you can be mindful. You can train yourself on how to bring circularity, how to in that job, how to green that job. So so that is about entrepreneurship. And can we have the next? So I would like to share a video with you, which will give you an idea of how people are moving towards entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship in this sector. Yeah.
My name is Vidyut, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Takachar. Takachar has a mission to fight climate change by drastically scaling the utilization of waste agricultural residue. I grew up in the city of Delhi, where every winter the city is enveloped in a thick blanket of smog, which is partly contributed by the open burning of waste agricultural residues. The health of all the residents as well as my friends and family is affected severely by this air pollution. Worldwide, more than $120 billion worth of waste like paddy straw, coconut shells, rice husk, sugarcane trash is burnt in the open, which otherwise could have been used productively. So this is how our process works. You take any kind of agricultural residue like coconut shells, and those are fed into the machine. It undergoes oxygen lean torrefaction, which is essentially heating the biomass between 200 and 350 degrees Celsius. Once the conversion has happened, it is conveyed and cooled, and the end product comes out in a carbon-rich, dense form. It's then suitable to be used as a raw material to make various products like fuels, fertilizers, and chemicals like activated carbon. When our equipment is used by farmers, it can increase their net income by up to 40%. And if you can bring income to the farmer, they will value this and they'll try to utilize this productively. Takachar is currently in the advanced stages of product development. We have found that our technology eliminates greater than 95% of particulate matter, carbon monoxide, and volatile matter emissions. We are aiming to have a first pilot in early 2021. We'll be piloting with a farmer group, and we would begin to process about 10 tons per day of agricultural residues. The UN Young Champions of the Earth Award means a lot to us. The award highlights the importance of our work to a worldwide audience and brings forth the problem that we're actually trying to solve. Environmental problems are essentially social problems, and one needs to work with communities to understand what existing behaviors are leading to the problems and work backwards to develop a solution rather than first coming up with a solution and trying to hit a hammer with a nail. Act for nature, right here, right now.
Wow, I think, okay, so that was a very inspiring story. And so that is how you can be an entrepreneur, or you can become an entrepreneur. So people with an entrepreneurial mindset, I would say, and good interpersonal skills can help create the organizations and the jobs that are needed. Government of India has been taking many steps, I would say, in the area of green economy. Though it's an evolving area, government is very much aware on the need of green economy growth. We have a draft national resource efficiency policy in place. We have programs like Make in India, zero budget natural farming is there, which is also called as community-based natural farming. Also, India has committed to various multilateral environment agreements in terms of land degradation neutrality or ecosystem restoration, or whether it is climate change mitigation or addressing biodiversity loss. All these national commitments also offer an opportunity to integrate the targets of such environmental commitments into other social and developmental targets for sustainable development. India is also a member of Global Alliance on Circular Economy and Resource Efficiency. So there's a lot going on at the national level. India is also a member of Partnership for Action on Green Economy, which is PAGE. Also, as you can see here, we have in India Skill Council for Green Jobs, which is promoted by the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy and CII. And basically, its objective is to identify the skill needs basically of service users and providers in the green businesses sector, as well as skills for a greener future. So you can always visit this website to have more information on how this can be of your use. Next, please. So as I said, we can go to next. We have, immense knowledge and resources available online. You don't need anybody. It's just a click away. And these are some of the, key organizations who are working in the area of green economy and green jobs. You should definitely visit them. And also we have many online training programs which are for free, and then we have different networks that you can join and regularly be updated on in the area of green economy and green jobs. So yeah, next please. So I would say,
Manisha, while you were sharing all these ideas, if you have seen the chat box, there were so many ideas being shared, and there were a couple of questions like, I'm an entrepreneur, but I'm not completely based onto the green entrepreneurship. So can I still contribute to it? Such questions arose, and I was like, wow, people are already, so connected to all these sources.
Absolutely. So yes, as I said, whatever you are doing and that's the second approach that I talked about. Just see that what are other people who are working in the green sectors are contributing to that kind of a space that you are working in, how you can fit in the concept of green economy and circularity in the thing that you are working on. So certainly you can integrate the green economic approach in whatever you are working on. So, and you can visit all these resources that you have across the globe in India and integrate such approaches in your job. So next. And I think that is also, I would say there is a lot more there, which is just a click away. So identify your opportunity and be the change. So that will be all from my side. Thank you so much. And please be connected with whatever you want to ask, any query, and we can connect you with experts.